Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be tackling something really interesting, something that's changing faster than we can keep up with AI and machine learning education.
Definitely.
And imagine like you're trying to prepare for this future where AI is like everywhere.
Right.
How do you even begin to know what skills do you even need?
It's a challenge.
Right.
For sure. The field's evolving so rapidly that the traditional educational programs are having trouble keeping pace.
That's kind of where this deep dive comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got these excerpts from this article by Dr. Yogesh Malhotra,
Right.
who's actually like on the front lines of this,
Yeah.
building these cutting-edge AI courses.
Yeah.
And get this, some universities
Wow.
are already offering like AI-focused degrees and certifications
Uh-huh.
using cloud resources.
That's amazing.
This is happening like right now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so what I thought was really interesting about Dr. Malhotra's approach is he's not just teaching the theory.
Yeah.
He's really bridging that gap between like academia
Yeah.
and the real world,
For sure.
giving people tools to actually apply AI and machine learning in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
one thing that jumped out at me right away was Dr. Malhotra emphasizing going beyond just the like traditional
Uh-huh.
neural networks
Right.
approach to AI.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of universities are still stuck teaching just the basics,
Mm-hmm.
but he's incorporating like all the latest advancement.
Right. And there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
The traditional AI that relies very heavily on these neural networks can be a bit like a horse with blinders on.
Okay.
It works great in controlled environments,
Uh-huh.
but when you throw in some unexpected variables like we see all the time in the real world,
Right.
they can stumble.
Oh.
So Dr. Malhotra is incorporating techniques that address this thing called quantum uncertainty,
Okay.
which essentially means teaching AI to deal with the unpredictable
So it's like instead of AI just like memorizing patterns,
Right.
it's learning to think on its feet,
Yeah,
kind of.
exactly.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
Let me give you a concrete example.
Okay.
Imagine you have an AI system and it's designed to predict stock prices.
Okay.
The traditional AI might just look at the historical data
Right.
and make a prediction based on past trends.
Mm-hmm.
But what if a major event happens that no one saw coming, like a natural disaster or a sudden political shift?
Right.
Those are the types of unpredictable factors that traditional AI struggles with.
So it's kind of like, when you're trying to predict the weather,
Yeah.
like you can make an educated guess based on the patterns, but there's always those wild cards
Exactly.
that can throw everything off.
Precisely. AI that can handle quantum uncertainty would be able to factor in those unexpected possibilities.
Okay.
So you get more robust and more accurate predictions.
That makes a lot of sense. So it seems like he's really pushing the boundaries here with this AI education.
He is.
And here's another thing that caught my eye.
Yeah.
Aligning his courses with like Amazon Web Services practices.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Right.
they're learning straight from the giants in the industry.
Yeah, that's a really crucial aspect of his approach.
Yeah.
AWS is a leader in cloud computing AI development.
Yeah.
And incorporating their practices, he's ensuring his students are learning the most relevant and in-demand skills.
Right.
So it's not just a theoretical understanding, it's
Yeah.
hands-on experience
Wow.
with the tools that companies are actually using.
So he specifically mentions AWS SageMaker Studio Lab
Right.
in the article.
Yeah.
What is that?
SageMaker Studio Lab is a free platform
Okay.
that allows anyone to experiment with these powerful AI tools.
Wow.
So it's essentially a virtual playground for these aspiring AI developers,
Okay.
providing everything they need to build and test their own AI models.
So even if you're not enrolled in one of his courses,
You could still get like a taste of what it's like
exactly.
to work with these cutting edge tools.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic resource for anyone who wants to kind of dip their toes in the world of AI.
Yeah.
Whether you're a student,
Cool.
a professional, or just someone with a curious mind.
It seems like he's really focused on making AI education accessible to a wider audience.
And that accessibility is crucial.
Yeah.
Because the demand for AI professionals is only going to increase in the coming years.
And speaking of that workforce development,
Yeah.
his courses seem to go beyond just teaching like the technical skills.
Right.
He really emphasizes the importance of like industry certifications and stuff like that too.
You're absolutely right. He understands that in today's job market,
Yeah.
having those certifications can make a big difference.
Right.
It's a way for students to demonstrate their expertise and stand out to potential employers. Yeah. So it's not just about learning it. It's about being able to prove that you know it to the people who are hiring.
And his courses provide a clear pathway for students to gain those credentials.
So this all sounds incredibly promising, but I'm kind of curious about the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
How is this new approach to AI education impacting like the workforce as a whole? What does it mean for the listener who might be wondering how to navigate this landscape that's changing so quickly?
That's a great question, and it's something that we're going to delve deeper into as we continue our deep dive.
Right.
But before we get there, let's take a look at another fascinating aspect of his work.
Okay.
His involvement with the AWS Academy.
Okay, let's unpack that a little.
Yeah.
What exactly is the AWS Academy? And how does it fit into this whole AI education revolution?
Well, the AWS Academy is a really cool initiative that helps universities develop cloud-based courses, including ones focused on AI and machine learning.
Okay.
So essentially, it provides this framework and resources for educators like Dr. Malhotra to build these cutting-edge curriculas that are aligned with industry standards.
So it's kind of like a toolkit for building these AI courses.
It really is.
That sounds like a game changer for universities that are really struggling to keep up with this demand.
It is, and what's even more exciting is that Dr. Malhotra's university is actually ready to launch its own AWS Academy offerings.
That's awesome.
So this means that even more students are going to have access to these cutting-edge AI courses.
That's incredible. It sounds like he's really at the forefront of this AI education revolution. But I'm curious, what does this shift towards cloud-based learning actually look like in practice?
Yeah.
What are the benefits for students?
Well, for one, it means that students can access these resources from anywhere with an internet connection.
Okay.
So they're no longer limited by the, physical constraints of a traditional classroom.
That's huge, especially for people who might be working full-time or have other commitments that make it difficult to attend on-campus classes.
Exactly. Yeah. Another key benefit is that cloud-based learning allows for a much more hands-on experiential approach.
Okay.
So students can actually get their hands dirty working with real-world AI tools and data sets.
So it's not just about memorizing the concepts. It's about actually applying them.
Exactly.
In a practical setting.
And that practical experience is so valuable when it comes to actually getting a job in this field.
Yeah.
Employers are really looking for those candidates who can hit the ground running. And cloud-based learning is that perfect environment to build those skills.
Yeah. It sounds like a win-win for both students and employers.
It is.
But I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about Dr. Malhotra going beyond just the technical aspects of AI. He seems to be incorporating this broader perspective into his courses, addressing things like the societal and ethical implications of this technology.
Absolutely. He really understands that AI isn't just about algorithms and data.
Yeah.
It's this powerful force that's going to reshape our world in many ways.
Yeah.
And that means we need to be thinking very carefully about the implications.
Yeah.
Both the positive ones and the potentially negative ones.
So he's not just training AI engineers. He's training ethical AI leaders.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And one of the ways he does this is by drawing on his extensive background in risk management.
Oh, now that's an interesting connection.
Yeah.
What does risk management have to do with AI education?
Well, it's more connected than you might think. AI systems are increasingly being used to make decisions that have real-world consequences.
Okay.
Think about self-driving cars, for example.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're going with this. Yeah. So, if a self-driving car has to make this split-second decision to avoid an accident, who's responsible if something goes wrong? Is it the AI?
Yeah.
The programmer? The car manufacturer?
These are serious ethical dilemmas. Yeah. And that's where Dr. Malhotra's expertise in risk management comes in.
Yeah.
He teaches his students how to identify and then mitigate these potential risks in AI systems.
Okay.
So ensuring that these technologies are developed and deployed responsibly.
So it sounds like he's preparing them for a future where AI isn't just a tool, but like a partner in this decision-making process.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we need people who can think critically about the consequences of their work.
Right.
We can't just let the algorithms run wild.
Couldn't agree more. And this brings us to another important concept.
Okay.
That he brings into his courses, dynamic uncertainty.
Dynamic uncertainty.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about quantum uncertainty.
Right.
But this is a new one.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So remember how we were talking about how traditional AI can struggle with these unexpected events?
Right.
Well, dynamic uncertainty takes that a step further.
Okay.
And recognizes that the world is constantly changing.
Yeah.
And the rules of the game are constantly evolving.
So it's not just about dealing with the unexpected, it's about adapting to like a world that's in constant flux.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these AI systems that can handle dynamic uncertainty are more resilient, they're more adaptable, and ultimately they're more reliable in the face of change.
So it's like teaching AI to surf. You got to be able to adjust to those changing waves and like anticipate the currents and stay balanced, no matter what comes your way.
I like that.
Yeah. And along those same lines, Dr. Malhotra also emphasizes understanding adversarial uncertainty.
Yes.
Adversarial uncertainty.
Yes.
That sounds a little ominous.
It can be.
Okay.
Essentially, it's about understanding the potential for like malicious actors to manipulate or disrupt AI systems.
Oh, wow. So like hackers trying to trick self-driving cars into causing accidents.
That's one example, but the possibilities are vast.
Right.
As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, we really need to be aware of the potential for misuse and develop those strategies to protect against it.
That's pretty sobering, but also an important reminder that AI development is not without its risks.
Yeah.
We need people who can think critically about these challenges and develop solutions to make sure it's being used for good.
Absolutely. And that's what makes Dr. Malhotra's approach so valuable.
Yeah.
He's not just teaching these technical skills. He's shaping the future of AI itself by instilling this sense of responsibility and ethical awareness in his students.
So it's not just about building smarter AI.
Right.
It's about building like a better future with AI.
Exactly. And remember those AWS Academy courses we were talking about?
Yeah.
Their modular design allows universities to easily integrate them into their existing curriculum.
Oh.
So that makes this kind of forward-thinking AI education accessible to even more students.
It's exciting to see how these initiatives are kind of like democratizing access to AI education. It's not just about creating an elite group of AI specialists.
Right.
It's about empowering everyone to navigate this world.
Couldn't agree more.
That's changing so quickly.
Yeah, and with educators like Dr. Malhotra leading the way, I'm very optimistic about the future of AI and the positive impact it can have on our lives.
That's a great point to kind of end on. But before we wrap up our deep dive completely, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned.
Okay.
And consider the implications for like all of us.
Yeah.
Not just those directly involved in this field.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From quantum uncertainty to dynamic uncertainty.
Yeah.
The crucial role of risk management in AI development.
Yeah.
It's clear that AI education is really like evolving rapidly.
It is, and Dr. Malhotra's work really highlights how important it is to move beyond just those technical aspects of AI.
Yeah.
We really need to be thinking critically about those ethical implications.
Absolutely.
The potential risks and the broader societal impact.
And I think that's a key takeaway for like everyone listening.
Yeah.
Even if we're not like aspiring AI engineers or anything like that.
Right.
AI is not some like futuristic concept anymore.
It's here.
It's here. It's now.
It's now.
And it's already shaping our world in so many ways.
It really is. I mean, think about how AI is being used in healthcare to diagnose diseases earlier.
Right.
In finance, to detect fraud.
Yes.
In transportation, to make our roads safer. These are just a few examples, and the applications are just going to continue to expand.
It's really mind-boggling to think about like the potential of AI to like solve some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Right.
But as we talked about, there are also potential risks and challenges that we really
got to be aware of those.
Need to be aware of.
Right. And that's why initiatives like the AWS Academy are so important. They're not just about teaching people how to build AI.
Yeah.
It's about fostering that next generation of ethical and responsible AI leaders.
You know, something that I thought was really interesting is that he mentions that
Yeah.
he has documented a lead on global risk management standards like ISO 31000 by over 25 years.
That's a long time.
That's quite a while.
It really is that kind of foresight and dedication.
Yeah.
To responsible AI development is so crucial.
Yeah, especially as this technology has become even more powerful and like pervasive in our lives.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what is like the one thing that you're hoping our listener walks away?
I think the most important message is that AI is not something to be feared.
Okay.
It's a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Right.
So the key is to understand its potential.
Yeah.
Both the benefits and the risks, and engage in those thoughtful conversations about how we want to shape its future.
I love that it's not about being like a passive observer in this AI revolution. It's about like actively participating in shaping this world that we want to live in.
And I think education is really the key here.
Yeah.
The more we all understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to make those informed decisions about its development and use.
So for all of you listening, I want to leave you with this question. What areas of your life or your work do you think will be most impacted by AI in the coming years? How can you start preparing yourselves for this AI-driven future?
Yeah. Great questions.
Yeah, it's definitely something we're thinking about and maybe even like exploring a little bit further.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Keep those brains engaged, and we'll catch you on the next one.